faith and obedience. Abraham unquestionably obedience to God's command, even to the point of raising the knife, demonstrated his profound faith. Abraham raised the knife at Mount Moriah. Isaac was on the altar. He was bound hand and feet. Abraham raised the knife. And that was what? That was faith and obedience. It was unquestionable obedience of God's command. And like I said, God intervened, the divine intervention at the last moment. An angel of the Lord intervened, preventing the sacrifice and providing a ram caught in the thicket as a substitute. God swore by himself to multiply Abraham's descendants and ensure that through his seed, all the nations of the earth would be blessed because you have obeyed my voice. Abraham obeyed God's voice pretty much throughout his whole life. And the reason why I say pretty much, because we met Abraham when he was 75 years old. And so we would say that from 75 all the way up to 175 years old, he was obedient to God. Prior to that, I'm sure that Abraham was a good man, but we know for a fact from 75 all the way to his death, he was loyal, faithful, and obedient to God's command. What a wonderful man. What a wonderful patriarch, Abraham. Abraham is the father of many nations, even to this day. And we read about his story in synagogues, in churches, and also in mosques, even to this very day. The legacy of death, Sarah burial. Abraham purchased the cave of Machpelah near Hebron to bury Sarah, the only piece of the promised land he ever personally owned. This was the only piece of the land that Abraham personally owned. This is the only piece of the promised land. And that's the reason why it says several times that this land is called Hebron. And we will see that when we get to the book of Kings. And we will see this where Hebron comes up a lot when you're dealing with King David. And so Abraham, a patriarch indeed. We see in the previous chapter how Abraham made sure that Isaac would not marry among the Canaanite women. Abraham got his chief servant, his most eldest servant, to go back to his kindred, go back to his land of Mesopotamia and find his son